What type of trends have you noticed in music?
It's been an evolution since the acceleration of technology.
I think piracy is still going to be a thing. They've tried to take down like the Pirate Bay for a long time, and they've like failed pretty miserably at it.
It's not hard to get free music as it is, so it's probably harder to stop people from getting free music than it is to just make everything free.
Artists are able to kind of circumvent that middleman, that record label.
I play guitar, bass, and drums and make records in my basement.
I play on Serato now. I just have to buy my records from the store. Now I don't have to buy the record. I just download it, put it in another software, MP3 it, bam, I got it.
You know, in that way, the internet might be very helpful, of course, because you can promote your stuff without any support. Like, you can just do it by yourself if your stuff is dope.
I think instead of record companies distributing music, it's going to be streams.
To buy CDs, to buy records,
I download it.
Download?
The easy way.
Like having to physically do it, it's like digital. So I don't know, there are a lot of positives. Are there negatives? Probably, but I can't think of any right now.
I wouldn't think that digital downloads would stop at some point.
I listen to Spotify. I really like SoundCloud because it's free. I can get music free online.
Okay. You brought into my world. You had no wings, but you could fly.
I play music for myself because it's very good medicine and it has so much value behind it, and every song I write has a lot of meaning. I think the way that technology has progressed as far as music goes has changed it in a bad way as well. People work really, really hard to make that music, and it means a lot to them as well. And for us to download it for free, we're not supporting the artist.
Music gives me a lot, and I think that musicians should be justly paid for their work.
I think that people don't mind and just download, and after that, you know, usually they have in mind that type of thinking that what's the point to buy an album if I can download? So they do not understand that artists have to have some kind of support, like, you know, salaries and stuff like that. But they don't understand it. I can understand it because I'm an artist too. So
I think there might be a shift with how artists make money.
Don't nobody gotta pay no more.
I haven't seen anybody like using CDs or even MP3 these days. Everybody like on YouTube.
You can buy a CD that's in the store for $19 or download it for free.
From a business standpoint, I think we moved away from having CDs, whole CDs we could buy, because the market doesn't support it. But a musician has to find a way to play music and, you know, satisfy this yearning. I play a little bit of guitar, a little bit of bass. I started as a former drummer. I don't ever remember not being a musician. But the whole industry is in turmoil and it's in transition. The music industry has lost the digital war.
So can you tell me how some of these changes have affected your personal relationship with music?
I remember doing a session, and it was me, keyboard player, guitarist, and I think it was a Lindrum. And my thing was plucking the bass. You know, I do the snappy plucking thing. He said something to me at the end of that session, and he was joking. He said, "Man, as soon as I can get a keyboard to pluck bass like that, you know, you ain't got a job." He was joking. But I just sat up here and watched this keyboard play flute. I just saw this. I just saw this keyboard be an organ. I just saw it be a piano. I saw that thing plucking bass not long from now, you know, and you know that kind of, you know, it goes as basic as the drum machine and synthesized keyboards and digital keyboards. I'm just coming to grips with not being able to play and participate at the levels that I have been for the last couple of years. And it's very difficult because it's redefining who I've been for the majority of my life. So I have to look for a different way for that outlet. And I'm young enough but also old enough to know that there aren't a lot of different options at this point. So all I can do is create creative opportunities for me to make me happy. And continue to try and just stay relevant to me.
92 WICB Homebrew. We've got Neo Project here in the studio, ready to rumble. So without further ado, this is Neo Project on 92 WICB Homebrew.
The bar has been lowered, you know, because everybody has access to it. This is the best time for independent artists to go out there and get their slice of the pie.
It's really easy to self-release your music.
The sound quality is good, and I also think that having everything accessible on the internet or your computer is good as well.
Through programs that just take a small cut like Bandcamp and SoundCloud and things like that, they're able to get their music directly to their consumers.
You have way more available to you now as an artist through social media, video, things of that nature that no one had 30 years ago. You could reach more people in the afternoon than we could reach for the first 6 months of any given year. I think we're seeing a bunch of experiments now. I mean, from Tidal to Spotify to Pandora to SoundCloud. I mean, all of these are experiments.
Have you noticed any trends, or have you seen technology and internet? How have you seen it affect the way people listen to music?
People just get used to listening to music through like a stream instead of actually downloading it.
It's pretty awesome, pretty convenient. I mean, you could just, do they have it? Oh, they have it. I get to listen to it.
What do you think about the streaming services overall? Pertaining to music and like
They're like a reaction to the way things have changed. It's like basically record labels and like especially elite artists scrambling to make up for the way like the industry's like been destroyed.
Today, I've been listening to a little bit of my own music. Recently released like a little bit of an EP, so got that out. Been listening to it pretty religiously just to kind of make sure that I didn't screw up. I've been very concerned about that. We, Gordon and Adam and I work hard on our music, and when you work hard on something, they say it shows, but then it's how do you show it to people? With music and technology, I've noticed just the sheer amount of music, I guess, like compared to 30 years ago, just the to be able to record music, you had to have thousands of dollars of equipment to actually get a studio sound. Today, all you really need is a MacBook and a plug-in for your amp, and you can start recording really high-quality stuff, put an EQ on it, entirely synthetically made, MIDI drum tracks, MIDI, bells, synths, all of that. It's all just made and processed in a computer. I think a lot of people that you ask, if you were to ask them, do you make music? Like maybe 5 out of 10 people would say yes, just because it's so simple to produce now. If you want to make a song and you have a little bit of creative intuition to put into a song, it's very easy. The barriers to entry in the music business today are really low just because there's so much you can do with it. Everybody's doing music. It's just such a creative, wonderful outlet. And a lot of people got a lot to say, and why not say it in the form of music? And especially when music is just so cheap to produce now, why not make music? But it's also hurting artists that need to make money with music. It's a living as compared to a hobby for them. As far back as I know, when people first started to share MP3s other than just via email, the massive sharing site was Napster.
Do you see a connection between what Napster started with the file sharing and the way that music is getting digested now?
Absolutely. yeah, people expect music for free now. That's just how it is. People don't want to pay for music. They want to support you as an artist by sharing it with their friends if you're independent. They want to give you all the support and good feedback in the world, but if you ask somebody, hey, can you pay $1 for this track? They say, but there are 10 other places I can get it for free. I can stream it for free on Spotify if I listen to an ad every half hour. I can listen to it for free on SoundCloud. If you want to just share a song with a friend, you know, maybe your friend bought a song, you can get an exact copy of it from him, and then there's the Pirate Bay. Download it for free. People expect music for free now.
So what do you think, what do you see for the future, like 10, 20, 30 years? What do you see for the future?
I don't know, they got robots playing it.
I think ultimately it'll just become more digital and more and more streaming.
I think right now it's sort of settling in. I think streaming services are going to become bigger, especially like Apple Music is going to like take more market share.
Streaming is the future, and I think my grandkids and my grandkids will be streaming music.
I see it getting even more easy to access.
And I also think that a lot of artists are going to start releasing their stuff for free. And whether the record labels will be able to, you know, react and survive is sort of a question right now.
But I think that there will always be people who love music, and somehow music will just be around. I hope so, at least because I love it.